Hello there, you're watching Nightline. I'm Anita Woo. The headlines. Government has the right to reclaim money from CPP over unfinished pipeline project, says Prime Minister. And PAC confirms no money missing from GST refunds. We begin with this headlining story. Malaysia has the right to reclaim money from China Petroleum Pipeline Engineering Limited, CPP, as the company was paid more than the work completed for 2 pipeline projects. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the 1 billion ringgit that was seized from the company because it had not carried out work as per payment.
They entered into a contract to build this pipeline. It is a contract from the government. They took from the government 80% of the contract price, but they delivered only 13%. So for the parts that they have not delivered, the government is claiming back the money.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said this after chairing a Bersatu Supreme Council meeting in Putrajaya on Monday. It was earlier reported that global banking giant HSBC was told on government orders to transfer $243.25 million held in the Malaysian account of CPP to Suria Strategic Resources Sdn Bhd, which is wholly owned by the Finance Ministry. In 2016, CPP won a contract from the government of former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak to build a petroleum pipeline stretching 600 kilometres along the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia and a 662-kilometre gas pipeline in Sabah. The Public Accounts Committee, PAC, on Monday confirmed that no money is missing from the Goods and Services Tax GST refunds. PAC Chairman Datuk Noraini Ahmad said that the GST refunds were used for government expenditure instead. In a statement on Monday, the PAC said that the previous government had overestimated the net GST collection at a rate of 65% from the actual GST collection. She added that the then government had collected the money and kept it in the Consolidated Revenue account and then transferred it stage by stage as decided by the GST Refund Repayment Committee when it was needed. However, Datuk Noraini said this was not in line with the GST Act 2014. She added that the policy to transfer 35% from the total GST collection every year from the Consolidated Fund to the Federal Consolidated Fund when it is needed was not enough to cover the requests for GST refunds. Based on the statements during the proceedings, the PAC feels that the rate should be set to at least 42%. Last August, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng had told Parliament that the 19.4 billion ringgit was missing. Lim had told the Dewan Rakyat that the former government had not been able to refund companies their credit tax from GST because 93% of the money had not been placed in the correct account. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, meanwhile, was asked to comment on the findings by the PAC on the GST refunds. He spoke to the media later on Monday after chairing Bersatu's Supreme Council meeting in Putrajaya.
PAC punya finding hari ini.
PAC ke PAT ke? PAC.
Public Accounts Committee.
Oh, yang
bahawa wang GST itu tidak hilang, dia tidak urus.
Yalah, kalau dia kata tak hilang, kita tak tengoklah duit dia ada di mana. Kalau kita dapat jumpa balik duit tu, dia tak hilang lah. Kalau kita tak jumpa, dia hilang.
Meanwhile, several opposition members of Parliament have demanded that the Finance Minister be referred to the Rights and Privileges Committee over his claim that the GST refund money was stolen by the previous government. Opposition leader Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said this during the Dewan Rakyat debate session, as Lim's remark had tarnished the image of the previous government.
Wang tuntutan bayaran balik GST telah dirompak oleh kerajaan yang lepas. Di dalam penyata PAC yang dibentangkan hari ini, jelas dari segi keputusan PAC menyatakan bahawa tidak ada kehilangan wang ataupun tidak ada wang yang dirompak seperti yang dituduh oleh Yang Berhormat Bagan. Dengan ini, Yang Berhormat Bagan telah pun mengelirukan Dewan ini dan pihak pembangkang ingin menggunakan Peraturan 36/12 untuk merujuk Yang Berhormat Bagan ke Jabatan Kuasa Hak dan Kebebasan.
Saya minta Yang Berhormat Ketua Pembangkang membuat surat secara bertulis kepada Tuan Yang di-Pertua, kemudian keputusan akan dimaklumkan.
Terima kasih, Speaker.
Sila Yang Berhormat.
Terima kasih, Speaker. Saya cuma ingin membalas kepada perkara
tidak perlu berbalas. Di mana saya telah nasihatkan Ketua Pembangkang supaya buat surat secara bertulis. Pagi ini saya pun belum.
Rembau MP Khairi Jamaluddin, who supported Datuk Seri Ismail's call, also said a decision on the motion should be expedited due to the urgency of the matter.
Satu perkara yang urgent yang perlu disegerakan oleh
34 out of 54 ministries, departments and federal statutory bodies have attained an excellent level in financial management for 2018. Auditor General Datuk Nik Azman Nik Abdul Majid said from the 54 bodies audited, 14 ministries, departments and statutory bodies were graded good, followed by satisfactory, 5, and unsatisfactory, 1. The statement refers to the Auditor General's Report 2018 Series 1 on financial management, activities of federal and state companies, of ministries, departments, agencies and statutory bodies tabled in Parliament on Monday. Datuk Nik Azman said at state level, 83 ministries, departments and agencies achieved excellent level, followed by good, 69, satisfactory, 26, less satisfactory, 13 and unsatisfactory, 2. Among the weaknesses are delays in the supply of equipment, abandoned construction projects or falling behind schedule, improper payment cases, weak contract administration, not in accordance to specification, and low quality apart from inefficient management of government assets and revenue collection. To enable corrective action and improvement by department heads, the Auditor General submitted 8 recommendations on the financial management of federal ministries, departments and statutory bodies. Apart from that, 99 recommendations were also presented on various activities of ministries, departments and federal statutory bodies, as well as 100 recommendations to better manage ministries, departments, agencies and state government companies. The government on Monday announced that there will be no increase in electricity tariffs for both domestic or commercial and industrial categories for the period of July to December 2019. Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change Minister Yeo Bee Yin told the Dewan Rakyat that the matter was decided after the government took various steps to reduce the cost that would be released to consumers. The minister said that in general, based on the imbalanced cost pass-through mechanism, ICPT mechanism, fuel costs and other generating costs to be released for the period of July this year amounted to 1.592 billion ringgit through a surcharge to consumers, in which the surcharge should be increased by 39 sen. She added that despite fuel market prices experiencing a recent slowdown, the setting of ICPT for the period of July to December 2019 is based on the average fuel price for the period of January to June 2019. The Education Ministry has put out a consultation paper between May 16th and June 13th to garner feedback from the public on the best mechanism for the National Higher Education Fund Corporation PTPTN loan repayments. Its Minister Mazli Malik said that the findings will then be presented to the Cabinet for approval. Mazli said that the findings will be reviewed by a special advisory panel to determine the best proposal for the repayment mechanism. He told the Dewan Rakyat on Monday that it will then be presented to the Cabinet in August for approval. The Education Minister further disclosed that the PTPTN has collected 6.23 billion ringgit from 1.13 million borrowers in study loan repayments. The amount was from collection between 2013 to May this year. Borrowers in the 20 to 29 age bracket were the highest repayers, accounting for 3.3 billion ringgit from the total collection. This was followed by those aged between 30 and 39 at 2.65 billion ringgit. The Plasmodium vivax malaria, which infected some of the Orang Asli community in Pos Lenjang in Kuala Lipis, Pahang, was mild and not life-threatening. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad on Monday said the 11 Orang Asli affected by the disease are now receiving treatment at the hospital. The affected Orang Asli were discovered during an active case detection by the Health Ministry involving 300 Orang Asli in the settlement on July 12th.
We realized this there has been we went in to do active active surveillance, right? They call it active case detection, ACD, active case detection, and we found out that 11 ke 9, 11 of those that were infected with malaria.
He was commenting on a report by a news portal that a number of orang asli in Pos Lenjang were believed to be infected by a serious form of malaria. Meanwhile, the Dean of University Malaya's Faculty of Medicine, Datuk Professor Dr. Adiba Kamrul Zaman, said Vivax malaria was a normal type of malaria found in Malaysia.
Vivax malaria, fortunately, is one of the less life-threatening forms of malaria. There are 5 types of malaria now, and Vivax is the one that usually is quite mild and not life-threatening, and often patients will recover very quickly, may not even be hospitalized.
She said there is sufficient medicine and anti-malaria drugs, and Malaysia is on the road to eliminate the Vivax malaria. They were met by reporters at the opening of the 33rd Scientific Meeting of the Malaysian Society of Pharmacology and Physiology 2019 in Putrajaya. Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak had spent 3.35 million ringgit in a day at a Swiss jeweller and watch store in Italy using 2 of his credit cards. The senior vice president of AmBank Group, Yeo Eng Leong, told the High Court on Monday that Datuk Seri Najib used his AmBank Visa Platinum and MasterCard Platinum cards for the transactions on August 8, 2014. During examination-in-chief by DPP Budiman Lutfi Muhammad, the 47th prosecution witness said the 2 credit cards belonging to Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak were used in D. Grisogono, a Swiss luxury jeweller in Italy. The witness also said that in early January 2015, another 466,330 ringgit and 11 sen was spent at Chanel, an exclusive boutique in Honolulu, the United States, using the cards. He said the cards were also used to pay the amount of 127,017 ringgit 46 sen at Shangri-La Hotel in the Thai capital. Yeo said all payments came from Datuk Seri Najib's AmBank current account, ending with the number 880. Meanwhile, when cross-examined by Datuk Seri Najib's lawyer, Havinderjit Singh, the witness agreed that according to the credit card statement dated April 2015, the last payment was made by a person named Nik Faisal Arif Kamil, who was the former CEO of SRC. He also pointed out that Datuk Seri Najib did not take any action regarding the credit card statements. Datuk Seri Najib, 66, is facing 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, 1 count of abusing his position, and 3 counts of money laundering involving SRC International Sdn Bhd funds amounting to 42 million ringgit. The hearing before Justice Muhammad Nazdan Muhammad Ghazali continues. The Kuala Lumpur Magistrates Court on Monday issued a 6-day remand order for Haziq Abdullah Abdul Aziz until July 20th to assist police investigations into a sex video allegedly linked to a minister. Haziq was remanded along with 5 other individuals, 2 of whom are also PKR members. Probe into the case is being carried out under the Penal Code and the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. Inspector General of Police Datuk Seri Abdul Hamid Badur on Sunday said that the police had identified those behind the distribution of the clips. The penalty under the Penal Code is a jail term of a maximum of 20 years and whipping if found guilty, while under the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, it carries a punishment of a maximum fine of 50,000 ringgit or a jail term not exceeding 1 year, or both if found guilty. Up next, suspect who molested 9-year-old girl in viral video nabbed. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Still on Nightline. In Selangor, police detained a man who allegedly molested a 9-year-old girl at a convenience store in Bandar Country Homes, Rawang, 4 days ago. The suspect, an Indonesian labourer, was picked up at Country Homes area on Monday. Gombak District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Samsul Ma'ruf said police also seized the clothing that was worn by the suspect during the alleged incident. Preliminary investigations found that the suspect did not possess any identification documents. The alleged incident occurred at 6:19 p.m. last Friday when the victim was at the convenience store with her mother. On Saturday, CCTV footage that went viral on social media showed the man hugging the girl from behind before performing the indecent act. The case is being investigated under the Sexual Offences Against Children Act. Police have detained 5 people, including 2 Iranian men and a Vietnamese woman, and seized drugs worth over 1.4 million ringgit. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Datuk Sri Mazlan Lazim said all the suspects, aged between 24 to 46 years, were detained during police operations in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday and Friday. In the first operation, police detained a Vietnamese woman and a local man and seized 19 grams of heroin on Jalan Dang Wangi early Thursday morning. They later took police to a condominium where police seized shabu weighing 2,196 grams and 6 grams of ketamine. In the second operation, police detained a local man in front of a condominium at the Sungai Besi Highway at 4:50 a.m. Police seized a total of 23,496 grams of shabu, cash and a pistol, together with a magazine and 28 rounds of ammunition.
Kalau kita tengok dadah mereka ni tak macam yang lain ni dia supply ke pusat hiburan, kan? Tapi dia ni memang tempat high class punya. That's why dia orang ni pakai kereta mewah, duduk di kondominium mewah, kan? Jadi dia memang high class punya. Jadi dia bukannya macam jual macam dia orang ni terus pergi, dia orang pergi contohnya pergi berjumpa dengan orang, if you want I can bring it. Macam tu.
In the third raid, 2 Iranian men were detained at a condominium in Solaris Road at about 7:40 p.m. on Friday. Police found ketamine weighing 1,005 grams after inspecting a Mercedes-Benz belonging to the suspects. Police also seized a Walther CP-88 pistol and a magazine with 8 rounds of ammunition in the suspect's condominium. Preliminary investigations found that one of the suspects had been living in the country since 25 years ago and was believed to be working as a property agent. All the suspects were remanded between 6 and 14 days for further investigations. The cases are being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, which carries the death penalty upon conviction. In Pahang, a 33-year-old man was charged in the Temelloh Sessions Court on Monday for allegedly stabbing his younger sister with a knife at their home near the Temelloh Kuala Krau main road at 11 a.m. last Thursday. The accused, Muhammad Rizal Suman, pleaded not guilty after the charge was read out to him before Judge Azwar Cik Yusof. Prior to the incident, the suspect reportedly had a quarrel with his mother, which sent the woman fleeing after the suspect threatened to kill her. The victim, Samsida Suman, aged 31, and tried to flee out of fear for her safety before the suspect gave chase and managed to stab the victim on the thigh. The accused was allowed bail of 10,000 ringgit, pending mention of the case on August 15. Over in Sarawak, the tour guide who was reported missing after he was swept away by flash floods which hit Deer Cave in the Mulu National Park has been recovered. According to the Miri Fire and Rescue Department Chief, Superintendent Lo Po Kiong, the body of Ravizal Robin, aged 20, was found at 10 a.m. about 800 meters from the location where he had disappeared. Meanwhile, the body of Dutch tourist Peter Hoverkamp, 66, who was also swept away by the flash floods, was recovered by a search and rescue team on Saturday, about 200 meters from the cave entrance. Robin was leading 9 foreign tourists into the cave when it was inundated by flash floods at 6 p.m. last Friday. Still to come on Nightline, another human trafficking syndicate foiled in Thailand. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Nightline. Thailand police have rescued 57 Myanmar nationals, including 6 women believed to be human trafficking victims at a transit home in Songkhla. Hat Yai District Police Chief Colonel Kittichaya Sankatavaron said, acting on information, a police team conducted a raid at a house in Kwan Lang, Hat Yai, at about 6 p.m. on Sunday. The raid led them to the victims, who were found cramped together in the house. They were believed to have been in Thailand for 6 days and were waiting to be smuggled into Malaysia. A 40-year-old Myanmar national believed to be the caretaker of the house has since been detained to help with investigations. In another development, Iran's President Hassan Rouhani says his country is ready to negotiate with the United States if Washington lifts its economic sanctions. In a statement, Rouhani said the moment the US stops bullying Tehran, as well as return to the 2015 nuclear deal it quit last year, Iran would be ready to hold talks with the US at any time and any place. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, however, dismissed Rouhani's idea as the same offer that he offered to former US Secretary of State and President John F. Kerry and Barack Obama. A path that the previous administration had gone down and led to the nuclear deal in which the current administration believe was a disaster. Looks like we've reached the end of our bulletin, but before we go, let's have a look at the stunning aerial view of the Alagadi beach in Cyprus, which is also known locally as the Turtle Beach. With that, I'm Anita Woo. Thank you for your company and have a good week ahead.